Welcome to A Healthy Bite. You're one nibble closer to a more satisfying way of life, a healthier you, and bite-sized bits of healthy motivation. Now let's dig in on the dish with Rebecca Huff.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I am talking to Jackie Vega. She is a registered dietitian and the founder of the Wellness Solution website, and we are here today to talk about childhood nutrition. Give me an idea, like what kind of advice or tips do you have for parents who want their children to eat a well-balanced diet, but also want their children to enjoy it and be excited about food?
So you really want to sit down, grab your favorite app, a Google Doc, something as simple as a piece of paper and a pretty pencil, and write out what it is that you're going to have. And it can be as simple as writing 3 to 4 meals out. You don't really have to dive in and I gotta go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I have to write out all the meals and all the snacks because that is overwhelming to begin with. So you make your plan, get the kids involved, and just to know what is going to be coming up for that next meal is going to be less stressful. And you're not going to worry so much about, oh, they didn't have a healthy breakfast, but you will know that the next meal, there's going to be green beans. There's going to be some red potatoes and a lean protein. So just planning is really one of the biggest steps towards making sure that you're getting those foods onto their plate.
Oh, I can't agree more with that. And I know that it can be overwhelming in the beginning, especially for really busy moms. But after you start doing it, then you kind of get your groove and you find that it actually saves you time and it makes life easier and the children are eating more nutritious meals. So I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's a really great tip. So what do you think about children who are, we'll say, particular, instead of that other P word that people sometimes use for their children, but particular about certain foods, or even children who have issues with foods touching on a plate and that kind of thing? What kind of advice do you have for moms and dads in that type of situation?
Yeah, and they do. I am going to say that word. Most parents will come to me with they have a picky eater. And quite honestly, that's the word that they relate to. And that is okay. Myself and several of my colleagues, we will call them selective eaters. And just speaking from experience, my youngest, who is now 12, he is my selective eater. And quite frankly, so is my husband. So I'm dealing with both sides of the spectrum. But I have found that starting out little, it will make it a little bit simpler to get our kids to try new foods. For instance, speaking from experience, and I believe I do have a photo of it on one of my older blog posts. My husband used to travel all the time. So what we loved to do was have kind of dinner and a movie type of thing. So my kids and I would have dinner in front of the TV. I know some people think that's bad, but this is just what worked for us. We would have a movie. And before the movie, the 3 of us would get together. And I believe my youngest was probably, I'm going to say he was 3 and maybe my daughter was 5. So we would cut up some veggies. We would cut up different fruits. I would have some hummus. My daughter has always loved seafood. So we would have shrimp, like a shrimp cocktail, sliced peppers, like a bunch of different types of little foods, and make just something we could just eat from. And we would watch a movie. So it kind of took the stress off of me. It took the stress off of the kids because I wasn't focusing on what in particular they were eating or what they weren't eating. I just knew that I was putting different varieties in front of them and they could pick and choose what they wanted. I made sure I had something with protein. I had the veggies, I had the fruit, I had some calcium in there with some yogurt. I just made sure I had different nutrients and not.
That sounds wonderful.
Just gotta have one carb. You gotta have one of this and one of that. Mm-hmm. And it really did take that stress off. And then thinking about going back to being, doing small increments, like simple things, even with tacos. I would put little pieces of spinach in their tacos, cut up raw peppers and put it in their taco. And it's a combination of foods, so they're not really like, it takes that new flavor kind of away. And it gives them a way to see, what are we putting in there? What is it? What color is it? The texture. Sometimes they would cut it up themselves. And that's the other thing too. They always would see what I was putting into their tacos or putting into their smoothie. Whether or not they liked it was another thing, but always trying something new and always going back to the things that I had tried that they didn't like. I found that it was successful as well. So it truly is, we have to put the food in front of them. That's going to be the first step. And then letting them gradually try it and not getting upset when they don't like it. So now my son, I have this one story where he was at a friend's house a few years ago and they were having lunch together, and I went to pick him up, and the mom says, well, I was making them sandwiches for lunch. And I asked Xavier if he wanted lettuce. And he asked me if I had spinach. So it's just one of those things where I know that if I'm doing something at home, it is going to trickle out into their life eventually. And it just, the different stories that I've heard from other parents where they've been, or my mom, I know I'm doing something right. And it's just that those little additions of the new foods into their meals.
Yeah. That's cool, especially when you see that they're willing to eat that even when you're not around. So, to eat spinach when he's at a friend's house. That's great. I love that.
Thanks for listening. Please rate and review so other people can learn about this podcast. Find out more about sleep, hygiene, eating healthy, tasty recipes, zero waste lifestyle, and lots more on thatorganicmom.com. Help us spread the word. Be blessed and stay healthy.